Hello, viewers. You are welcome to another edition of Egbosa Insights, a program where we search for knowledge. Insight, a program we search for understanding. Insight, a program we search for wisdom and development. Today, we are going to be dealing with another topic, which is quite broad, but because of this a YouTube program, we had to paraphrase most of my teaching here today. Organized religion. Organized religion. Today, in every facet of human endeavor, religion rules the way we relate or we view things, becomes the microscope we use in measuring things. So that is why it becomes very important for us to understand, to look at this topic, organized religion. Why religion? Before we go, let us understand what is religion itself, meaning or definition, so that we all be on the same perspective as we listen to it. So from the Oxford Dictionary, a religion is defined as a belief in and or worship of superhuman controlling power. Take it again. A belief in and or worship of superhuman controlling power, especially of personal God or gods. So to note here is that belief of human being or super beings, which are invisible super beings controlling the activities of man and the activities, other physical activities on earth. That's what we call religion. Then the organized religion, then what is an organized religion? The organized religion, it is a structured system. A structured system of faith, rituals, and practice by a group called followers. A structured system of faith, rituals, practiced by a group who call themselves followers. That is where you have organized, because it's a systematic way of doing things. They have a structured way, a standardized way, format of doing it, formulated by members of that group. So that's where you say that is when religion becomes organized. So what falls into this religion today? We know we have the Christian religion, which originally started from the European subcontinent. Then we have the Islam, the Arab continent, Arab part of the world, the Hindus, the Indian, the Buddhists, the South Asia, the Shinto, the Japanese, the Confucians, the Chinese, Judaism, the Jewish. Then we are missing something here. How about the Africans? African religion. But it's not classified as a religion in most literatures today. But what is it called? Paganism. Why? If it is structured way of worship, why is the African way becomes paganism? That's another subject for discussion, not on this topic now. That is why one of the victims of allowing your conqueror to write your history. Let us keep that aside. Having known that, let's go about spirituality. Because what's important for me today is issue of religion and spirituality, where we get it wrong. What is spirituality? Spirituality is the individual search for a sacred meaning and purpose for life in order to obtain a sense of peace and purpose of being. That is spirituality. Understand it as individual search for a sacred meaning of purpose to gain peace, sense of peace and purpose for being. Difference between a group of way of practice rituals than individual search. That's what different spirituality and religion. Then, how does religion begin? That is very important for us to understand why things are what they are today. We understand from historical records that humans, early life of human was nomadic. That is moving from one place to another through hunting for food and for meat and for other things. Whatever humans need, they were just moving, hunting for it. That was their life. But as time goes on, men started living in enclaves. Could be tribal enclaves, which started forming domains, which called so rulers. They've now started having rulers of this domain become chief. That we call chiefdom. She's the ruler of a small domain. Then kingdom. You have on that domains that are ruled by a king. They started having these enclaves that growing into bigger and close related enclaves. But at that period of life, men lived by might, not by right. So there was incessant fights, war among groups, among enclaves, among chiefdom, among kingdoms. However, within this period, man has already beginning to develop a strong desire for divinity, because most of the things man could not understand how it came to be, it now know that there has to be a being responsible for it. Because the life of man then revolved mostly on agriculture, tilling of the soil. Now, no, okay, they don't know how they put their seed into ground, it germinates. That means the super being responsible. That's why they have what they call a god that is responsible for cropping, for planting. When they don't know how they come when they had a harvest, a god is responsible for the harvest. A God responsible for the rain. A God responsible for the sun, for the moon, for the rain, for the waters. See, man begin to formulate ideas on these things. That beings responsible, invisible beings, responsible for the activities of physical relationship on earth. As they started developing that, they started practicing way of celebrating or worshiping those divinity. Then we see the clever ones came and said, okay, since there was a constant fight among them, let us already say that anybody who comes to power is divinely appointed. Kings were now regarded as divine appointee of their divinity, of their God. Chief, divine appointee of their God. So that really minimizes the insistent war, tussle for power and rulership. Man was creative there. Because of that, the fear of the unknown, the fear of divinity, every other followers, every other people in that kingdom respect the rules now set up by the leadership of the group. So as it are divine instructions, they began to pass this instruction down to different generations that comes. So it becomes the way of governing their people, and they got cohesion in the society. We know there was a time the world, Greek was the world's biggest empire. They dominated the world. Because of that, they had different gods in every aspect of their life. I think Greek is they have the most God in their life. Every aspect of Greek life was having a God that controls it. Then the Romans came, defeated the Greeks. When Romans defeated the Greeks, what happened? They don't defeated Greeks literally, but in ideology and worship, they did not defeat them, but they infused, synchronized the Greek way of worship into their own system to become a unified factor. So that started making that religion, the practice there, bigger. So any smaller religion group that is captured, they infuse, synchronize their way of worship into the bigger one. So that there will be a cohesion. There will not be too much rivalry or conflict fighting one another. So that's how religion became organized through mind control mechanism. So the essence, primary factor of religion organization was through control the mind of followers, so that they will behave in a particular and certain way. Religion, mind control mechanism. Then came Christ. That is the concept of Christ. We know the Jewish had a religion, the Judaism. They thought Christ, which name is Jesus, originally means Yeshua, Hebrew, which means Messiah. When Christ came, they generally thought Christ is coming to end the Roman occupation of the Jewish and bring the kingdom of God, awaiting the kingdom of God they be told by their forefathers that is coming. That is why they were so keen to ask Christ several times, when is the kingdom of God coming? Because they thought it's coming literally. No. So, but Christ, what did he do? He was even against organized religion. He fought against organized religion. He talked about the Sadducees. He talks about the Pharisees. If you look at the book of Matthew, that was one of the first sermon about the Beatitudes. He hit hard on the Pharisees, criticizing them about in Matthew. Also, how about in one of his last topic in the Bible, he also hit hard on the Pharisees. The book of Matthew, chapter 23. He also hit hard on the Pharisees because he felt they were misleading the world. They were misleading the people as at that time. But which means Christ didn't come to help to establish organized religion. Because the book of John, chapter 13, verse 1 and 20, was what he said. It shows that he leadership, humility among his followers. He never allowed them to have that way of the Sanhedrin, the Sadducees, the scribes, which were leaders in the Pharisees. He didn't join the class. If he wanted to establish religion, he would have joined the leadership class of the Sadducees, of the Sanhedrin in Jewish religion. But no, he worked against them. But what did he practice? To show that his kingdom we're talking about now is about individual. It's about your way of life. In Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 and 34, he talked about love your God as yourself with all your heart, with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Those were the two things he practiced, which means it's about your being. So wherever there is kindness, wherever there is meekness, wherever there is mercy, he says there is a kingdom of God. There is a kingdom of God. So that will mean that it is not the way that the practice the kingdom of God is like going to heaven. No, it is your presence on earth, how you live your life with it. That is why he even said in the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 20-21, he said, he keeps on telling that the kingdom of God is within you. It's within you. Wherever there is mercy, there is a compassion, there is kingdom of God. With that, we will understand that there is no way Christ would have criticized, restructured religion and replaced it with another religion. No, his coming was to reawaken our consciousness to the spirituality, the growth of spirituality, to attain peace and purpose of God's creation on earth. But unfortunately, many wars today in the world have been fought on the name of religion. But I will submit that Christianity and organized religion is not what Christ came to project. So the pursuit of spiritual growth should be the essence of human life and not this pursuit of religious growth. By this submission, I think I have give you an insight and understanding that humanity and divinity, what it all entails, is about spirituality, not religiosity. Thank you very much. May God continue to bless us.